Yeah, when I'm ready to start. Thank you all for joining me here today at 5:30. I was pretty sure that nobody's gonna make it except my beautiful teammate Katja. So thank you everyone for being here. Today we're gonna talk about career challenges in the games industry in 2024, in numbers and research, and I will be really happy to share all the data and insights and ideas of insights, or at least the numbers that could have brought some insights to me or can bring some insights to you, and we'll discuss. So, I'm Tanja Loktionova. I'm the founder of Values Value. It's a recruitment team that helps gaming studios hire gaming talent. I'm also a co-founder of ingamejob.com. It's a job board that helps game developers find new jobs and game studios find their new employees. Please tell me who is hiring now and who is trying to get hired. Okay, only one. And who is managing teams? Okay. And on a scale from 1 to 10, who is satisfied with their job 9 to 10? Okay. Okay, great. Katja, I didn't notice your hand. Okay. So let's agree with the context of the games industry and the employment situation and the money situation in order to understand better what's going on in numbers. So the deal-making activity, after 20-30% decrease in funding compared to 2022, so this first year first quarter showed a slight increase, both in deal value and volume. M&As last year were almost 4 times lower than the prosperous 2021. But again, this first quarter of 2024 indicated a stabilization phase. If we speak about the layoffs, last year there were something like 10,500 of announced layoffs. By the time that I prepared this presentation, it was some days ago, there were 11.5 announced layoffs in 2024. So this year is gonna become a hit. An unfortunate hit. The acqui-hiring, like mergers and acquisition of studios in order to hire talent and not only to acquire their intellectual property, has stopped. And we see, especially the previous year, and especially with like a big example like Embracer Group, we see acqui-firing. So all those studios that were acquired, they make announcements. Juniors are not wanted, and the significant drops are reported by each job board and each researcher who is in this field. And AI is a driver of investment. And my presentation. Let's see what's going on. I dislike the idea of having to do this several times, but I hope you forgive me. Okay, so this is the context. And wow, almost 40% of game developers that we have questioned have their pet projects. Tell me, who is surprised? Nobody is surprised. You are surprised. Oleg, you are surprised. When we had a sample of only 1,000 of respondents, it was more than 50%. And I was super surprised. And our respondents are mostly employed people. These are not the indie developers. These are someone who works in the games industry. And 40% of them have their pet project. So we were gonna have such slides like wow, where I was surprised or incited, And I hope that you will share with me, and I will be able to represent at least one slide where the majority will be surprised. So, our survey, the employment survey that we conduct for 8 years already. This was the second survey that was international, and we got more than 1,800 respondents. Quite representative that it was almost 70% male and 30% female. 90% of our audience was over than 10 years in games. And the top countries were both European Union and Europe outside the European Union. They are represented here in the alphabetic order. And you see that it's Armenia, Cyprus, Germany, Georgia, Lithuania, Netherlands, Poland, Serbia, Spain, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom. And wow, this is not a juniors survey. The majority are middle, senior level, and lead C-level top management. So the salaries. We have to divide our audience into Europe and we like EU plus UK and Europe non-EU. You can see why, because the salaries really differ, especially if we take a look at analytics. The median salary, who knows what median is and the difference between average? Okay, I'll explain. I like to explain it. Hope I do it right. So average is something like you have a $100 salary, I have a $1,000 salary. In the middle, in the average, we have $550 salary. Median is when we split our audience into two parts, and the middle number is the median. It means that exactly half of the respondents have salary lower than this number, and exactly one half has the salary higher. This is a more fair way, as the analysts say. So you see that there is a very big difference with analytics. With 77K, it's all gross euro annually, and 49K with non-EU salaries. And what's your guess? Have the salaries changed compared to 2023? Yeah? Lower, higher? Are you ready to see? Are you ready? Okay. So we have this EU plus UK, and the salaries got higher. Almost in every group, art design, top management, game design, programming, almost 10% growth, project management, production, 10% growth. And then when I see this slide and see a drop at recruiters and HR and QA and testing, I first think, oh, not enough data. This is something that is wrong. But then I'm going to show you that it seems to be right, and their salaries have really dropped. Do you have any guesses why? Only Katya knows. She has guesses. I'll tell you. I'll share. So we ask our respondents about the genre that they develop, and we took a look at median salaries according to the genre. You see that RTS are the richest. And it's interesting, yeah? Who has the wow effect? Who is surprised? Nobody is surprised. It's hard to surprise people these days after so many layoffs. Yeah, it was also interesting for me. It was the first time that we could see who earns how, depending on the model of monetization. And it turned out that subscription people are the richest. And they're not only the richest, they are the most satisfied with their job. Who knows what an NPS is, or eNPS? You all know. Who has ever used booking.com or Asana? Yeah? Do you know that question? On the range up to 10, how likely are you to recommend our service to your friends and family? This is the thing that we ask as well. How likely are you to recommend working at your current company to your friends and family? And then we have this eNPS that can be minus 100 up to plus 100. The HR people say that 30 and above is okay. In their best days, Apple had 70 eNPS. Yeah, it's rather high. And you're gonna see this eNPS thing several times in my presentation, because it's really interesting to see who is most satisfied. And it is always a pleasure for me to see that the people don't lie. So, this was quite an obvious question. How satisfied are you with your current income? And of course, the junior level people were only 2.2 out of 5, with seniors with higher salaries with 3.6 out of 5. And the most satisfied were the senior analysts and project managers and top managers. And the least satisfied were QA specialists. And you remember that their salaries dropped down. QAs of senior levels, QA specialists, and artists of junior levels. Those who are considered to be most easily substituted. We also analyzed the gender pay gap, which exists and has always existed. And from year to year and location to location, it can be 30% difference to almost no difference. But we see here this year that programming and development ladies in Europe as median have salaries higher than male. And that's a good news. Let's take a look, for example, here, before I go to the next slide, let's remember that top management, C-level and VPs, male, get 76K, 76.5K per year, with the female as 58. There is another question that we ask. Not only the salary that you currently got, but the salary that you desire and find fair. And you see, this always happens. Ladies, I don't know why this happens to us, but we desire the salaries that male get. And male desire the salaries that are much higher than they get. So you see, it was here, you see, 76, 100. Here it was 58, we want 72. Not even 76. And it's almost everywhere, except for, you see, programming and development, where ladies already get more, according to this survey. And HR recruiting. Ladies want to get more. But there is a much higher ratio of women in these professions. Okay, so great news for the Polish female, who not only the programmers, but the game designers from Poland, ladies, they are paid higher than male. But they still want it to be paid equally, the game designers. But I was surprised. So we also asked the question about overtime and attitude to overtime. And you see here that why I really trust these numbers and why I really like this indicator as eNPS. You remember, from minus 100 to plus 100. So those who overtime almost every day, even on weekends, it's minus. But compared to the previous year, 2023, this minus is lower. People are less dissatisfied with overtime. Again, those who work more than 2 times a week are also in this negative zone. And then we see that mainly satisfied, 1 to 2 times a week, 1 to 2 times a month. Most satisfied are those who have overtimes 1 to 2 times a quarter. And wow, I could never have thought that the most satisfied people in Europe would be not those who work remote, but those who have access to hybrid, working both from home and from office. And the difference is quite high. And I also see here the genre. So no surprise for me here, but I wanted to show you that hardcore is more satisfying than casual. Okay, so here we have top 10 reasons to change jobs by frequency. Yeah, by frequencies. This was a question with multiple choice. This was the first year that we saw the desire to earn more. Normally, this reason was only for the junior audience. With expert and senior and C-level, this was always something more. It was desire of career development, desire to grow, desire to work on a more interesting project, and on the 4th or the 5th place, we had the desire to earn more. Not this year. And the first time that we see, even the previous year, we didn't have this in the chart, but we have it on the 5th place, layoffs and bad times at company. Why people want to change jobs? Those who are most likely to change jobs are those who have no financial bonuses at all. There were 2 options to answer. Like, I have no financial bonuses, and I have no financial bonuses meaningful to me. So those who maybe wished, but do not have it, are most likely to quit. And the least likely are those who have shares from sales, paid parenting leave, profit share, and project bonus. So if you really focus on retention of your teammates, this is a very good slide to show your management or to think about as a manager and think what can be done in order to retain your teammates. So if we speak about the layoffs, I think that they have influenced all of us. Who has been laid off within the previous 2.5 years? Sorry to hear that. Who has witnessed someone in their closest circle of friends or teammates being laid off? Yeah, and that's the picture that we get, and that we also analyzed who was laid off the most, and these were localization and sound specialists. And it's understandable, artists, QA, and project managers. 18% of game developers were laid off last year. 13% found a new job, and 5% are still looking for it. Those who managed to find a new job were HR and recruiters, and they were the the first one, I lied to you. It was potential layoffs. Those who are afraid of being laid off. It's localization, sound, artists, QA, and project managers. And those who have been actually laid off are HR, recruiters, QA, and artists. Let's rewind to the slide where we saw the salary change, the difference between salaries in 2023 and 2024. Do you remember whose salaries dropped? these were HR recruiters and Q&A, quality assurance. So I think that this is the explanation, because besides, I don't have it on the slide, but HR and recruiters were those people who most often switched to different sphere, to different industry. So people who were substituted, maybe those who were most highly paid were laid off, and we see these results that the salaries dropped. Again, this is by frequency, and the most frequent perk and benefit is paid sick leave. And it seems like, wow, I'm hired at the company, why should I bother about it? Why it is a perk and benefit? But I must say that more than 30%, and depending on the country and the company, it may be more than 50% of game developers in Europe work as contractors. So they are actually employees, but they have this contractor's contract, and which does not guarantee paid sick leave. That is why people mention it as a bonus. And we remember, here we don't have it on this slide, but there was also this quite a big cohort of those who said, I have no bonuses, or I have no bonuses that are meaningful to me. So paid sick leave, annual bonus, paid parenting leave, extra payment for overtime, only 11%. We saw how many people do overtime, but only 11% get paid for this, or consider it a financial bonus, 8% stock options, and 3% monthly bonus. I really like the idea of eliminating monthly bonuses, not based on KPI, because they do not motivate. People start considering them a part of their salary base. And the non-financial bonuses, by frequency, most common. Health insurance, funding for foreign language classes, sports gym in the office, relocation, and so on and so forth. Funding for external education. And do we have here conferences? No. I think that we are motivated with conferences, yeah? Funding from the companies. So we took a look at the ENPS and what makes you most loyal and engaged. And of course, it was the profit share. The highest ENPS is obtained by the respondents who have a profit share from their company. Then a share of sales, a royalty, project bonus, extra payment for overtime, annual bonus. And you see this drop down, yeah, the bonuses. Annual bonus, monthly bonus is even lower, quarterly bonus is somewhere there. And again, the proof of our data and the relevance of it is that we have a minus result for no financial bonuses meaningful to me, and a negative ENPS for those people who have no financial bonuses at all. And wow, this made me surprised. I expected this, but I was nevertheless surprised that there is such a great difference with those individual people improvement plan, that there is 34.7 satisfaction on this cohort of 1,800 people who have a people improvement plan, and it's 34.7. Those who are expecting that they're gonna get this plan have ENPS of around 16. And those who have no expectations and have no trust of being self-developing systematically by their company is minus 5.2. Who is surprised? No, you're not? I was surprised. You see how easy it is to surprise me, guys. So, AI adoption. It was really interesting for me to see this slide, but there is no wow. So you see that we see a significant growth of those who use AI in daily work and find it helpful, from 37% to 54%. The same numbers of those who tried but didn't find it helpful, like 1918, and those who never tried AI and have plans to try. The change was from 23% to 9%, and those who do not use and don't have plans to use it, it was a bit lower this year, and it's only 18% of people who are against AI in their daily work at all. How do you think? Who are the people who use AI in their daily work most frequently? Programmers? Producers? Any ideas? Managers? Yeah? Okay, I'll reveal. So, first, artists. Those who are against. And those who use. The second place, game designers. The third, developers. And the fourth, managers. Yes, you're right. So the top 4 is this one. Who is surprised now? Okay, I did it. So we also had this question. It was divided into 2 parts because we have a very wide representation. So what are the most wanted global companies that you would prefer to work at? And what are the most preferred local companies? We did not extract the local companies here, but you see that first it was Larian Studios while we were analyzing. Then with the growth of our sample, we had then Ubisoft, and then CD Projekt Red became the winner. Maybe it's also because that we have many people from Poland, many respondents from Poland. But nevertheless, it was quite interesting. It will be interesting to analyze depending on geo in our further researches, and when we publish our final report, this survey is gonna find big coverage by media, so you can take a look at it. So this is our role model. Our designer refused to put there some K-drama male leads that I like. So she put here this gentleman who is a senior level male developing RTS with subscription monetization and has a pet project, works overtimes, 1 to 2 times a quarter, working in a hybrid mode, both from office and from home. He's enjoying a profit share and a people improvement plan, obviously. He uses AI in daily routine and works at CD Projekt Red. Do you know him? Okay, Lena knows him. So thank you very much for not surprising and surprising and answering my questions. Here is my LinkedIn. Here is a QR code for salaries and demo report, which we have downloaded today on our website on in-game job. So you may be one of the first to see it and read it. It's an MVP. We'll have a broader version. And on LinkedIn, I have this number of the day. Every day, I publish some interesting number related to the games industry from this or that survey, including our survey. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer. Just a second.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for that very interesting
You're
your
welcome.
presentation. So, out of curiosity, are also publishers integrated in that? In that summary and overview, or just really devs?
It's absolutely it includes all the positions that could be represented in the games industry.
Okay.
So it's the managers, artists, game designers, producers, Q&A, and so on and so forth. We even have sound designers, see?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's quite various. It's very representative, yeah.
I'll just keep the mic if I already have it. So the numbers for the people improvement plans, how are they like calculated? Is it not likely to be like a spurious correlation because companies that have people improvement plans also have other good things for their employees, and that's why the numbers are so like.
You see that the ENPS changes depending on how we apply it, to which question we apply it. So we have 1,800 people, and we just have a very rough division. Those who have, those who don't have but plan to have it, and those who have no expectations even to have it. And we get we count the ENPS with a formula. Of course, it can be different, but it is representative. Of course, it may be not the dependency, it may be a correlation, but for some reason, this correlation is in favor of a people improvement plan. Yeah. Any other questions? Maybe your ideas, maybe some insights to share?
I was actually interested on the gender pay, on the pay gap, because what it seems, at least from the stats you shared, that women are asking for the wage they think men have, and men just want more. Do you think this is related to the fact that we don't talk about wages? Basically, women already start on a worse position. So when talking about improving salaries, because we don't talk about them, that just makes them be in a worse position in a negotiation, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. As Women in Games ambassador, I have been talking a lot about this gender pay gap and analyzing the reasons for it. And of course, as a feminist, I would like to fight and say, oh, you, white cisgender male, you tend to pay female less. But the problem is that the majority of salary negotiations in the games industries has the starting point from the expectations of the candidate. And unfortunately, it's the female, who take this first step and say, I want this and that. And then we take a look at this slide. And they want less. They not only get less, they want less. That is why, spread the word. I want this slide, this comparison, seen by every manager and every woman, so that if we really want to overcome this gender pay gap, we first need to start with awareness and with raising the bar. And what's most unfortunate for me is that the difference with the seniority level is not the same. So if I'm right, the juniors have the least. They have almost the same salaries, both actual and desired. And the greatest difference is on top, at top management and C-level. And it's really frustrating because a female could have thought, like, if I grow further on, if I build my career, I would overcome this pay gap. But this doesn't happen. That is why, yes, first we need to start with awareness and highlight diversity and inclusiveness, and support women in games, and no matter whether you are male or female, and spread the word about this inequality, and help female hold these salary negotiations on a more powerful base and background. Yeah. Thank you for this question very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jennifer?
Oh my God, you were able to read the sign. Okay, I just wanted to add directly onto that because I'm working in a company that has transparent salary grids. And honestly, as a female and also as a lead in this context, it has taken so much of the guesswork out of things. And just also like propose salary transparency to your leads, to your management, because that shit right there is, that's not going to get us anywhere. We need women in games. We need the diversity. And just this eternal fight on, oh, who's getting which, I should add 10%, 15, 20% on top. Let's not do that anymore and just be transparent about salary as a first step to equality.
Yes, absolutely true. Thank you for adding it. We need to turn on the light. Yes?
Yes.
And when it is seen and obvious, it's much harder to maintain it in the way that it historically continues to go on in the games industry. And we are not an exclusive industry for this gap. Absolutely not an exclusive industry. And by the way, those Eastern European and let's say the post-Soviet countries have smaller difference between male and female salaries. Maybe it's because of the communist equality, I don't know. Or maybe we have such powerful women, yeah, like me from Ukraine. Okay, any other questions, guys? All done. Is it the final session for today? Yeah, why aren't we drinking beer? I don't know. Thank you for this and for having me.